100 days into Donald Trump's second term, America finds itself gripped by uncertainty and upheaval, with more than 140 executive orders, sweeping dismissals of federal employees, and dramatic policy overhauls. The White House is moving faster and more forcefully than at any point in modern political history. Supporters call it a necessary disruption. Critics warn of democratic backsliding and institutional collapse. As financial markets react, lawsuits multiply and questions mount over the administration's ability or intent to govern with restraint. The country faces a pivotal moment. Is this a government finally delivering on promises or a presidency spinning out of control? I'm Henny Saif. Let's go in depth.
It is my honor to introduce to you the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Successful era in the history of our country. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action. Back to you. God bless America. China, first row. I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America.
Welcome back. Steve Bannon once called it flooding the zone. Trump has now turned it into a method of governance. According to the Financial Times, Trump's second term has seen a record-breaking wave of executive actions, far outpacing even the FDR. But where Roosevelt responded to economic collapse, Trump inherited stability and sowed chaos. From gutting U.S. aid and slashing research budgets to reinstating Schedule F and firing thousands of federal workers, the pace and severity of the changes have shocked even his allies. The White House is now a battleground of warring factions with no clear plan. And while Trump's MAGA base praises the disruption, markets are jittery, the judiciary is pushing back, and elite institutions like Harvard are mounting resistance. Amid plummeting approval ratings and legal setbacks, Trump's grip on power remains firm but brittle. If support continues to slide, some fear he may double down with more extreme measures. As F warns, the real battle for the Republic may just be beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We have more analysis right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be trying to reconnect with our guests. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out this report regarding the first 100 days of the American President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's second term began with a burst of controversial decisions that reshaped domestic policies, redefined international relations, intensified economic competition and political conflicts, from abolishing of Department of Education to escalating trade wars. His first 100 days were marked by bold actions, political brinkmanship, and global repercussions. Trump abolished the U.S. Department of Education, arguing it was a relic of federal overreach. He redirected funding towards state-controlled voucher programs for private schools. Critics argued this would exacerbate inequality, while supporters claimed it empowered local communities. In addition, after refusing to re-regulate their laws regarding institutional oversight and independence, Trump has issued an order to withhold billions of federal funding to Harvard University and revoke its tax exemptions. Trump suspended all foreign aid through U.S. aid, citing budgetary constraints and prioritization of American interests. This decision drew criticism from beneficiaries, like countries and institutions, which had long relied on U.S. assistance. The move signaled a shift toward isolationism and strained diplomatic ties globally. Trump issued mass deportation orders, targeting both illegal immigrants and legal migrants who expressed support for Palestine or Gaza. These measures sparked outrage domestically and internationally, particularly among Arab American communities. His administration also used DOGE to enforce government layoffs, further polarizing public opinion and reducing trust within government sectors. The White House partnered with tech giants Microsoft and NVIDIA to accelerate AI development, positioning the U.S. as a leader in artificial intelligence. However, these collaborations raised concerns about monopolistic practices and data privacy breaches. Trump clashed openly with the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell over monetary policies, accusing him of undermining the dollar's value. Amidst rising gold prices, analysts noted the conflict highlighted instability within America's financial system. Trump's decisions, particularly his trade policies, sent shockwaves through the U.S. stock markets. Trump's series of decisions, including the ongoing trade and tariff war, has sent a shock down the stock market, translating to a staggering losses of trillions in market value over the course of 3 months, in addition to huge shocks at Wall Street and a decline in S&P 500 index. Trump declared unwavering support for Israel during the ongoing Gaza war, but refrained from committing troops. Instead, he provided financial and military support and proposed post-war reconstruction plans involving Arab states including Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Egyptian and Jordanian opposition to the U.S. brokered deals that involved forced displacement and U.S. takeover of the Gaza Strip has prevented the Israeli aspirations to the forced removal of the Palestinians from Gaza. Reiterating his interest in acquiring Greenland, Trump reignited discussions about incorporating it as a U.S. territory for security purposes. While dismissed as unrealistic, the proposal underscored his transactional approach to geopolitics. Trump positioned himself as a mediator in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, brokering mineral deals favorable to Washington in the midst of the crisis. However, repetitive open clashes with Ukrainian President Zelensky revealed deep mistrust. In addition, there was a leaning towards the Russian side noted by the European countries, which was dismissed as undemocratic. It is to be noted that Trump repeatedly said he could end the war between Russia and Ukraine in a day, which he hasn't fulfilled yet in 100 days. Negotiations with Iran remain volatile, punctuated by threats and sanctions. Trump pressured Iran to abandon its nuclear ambitions while strengthening ties with Israel. Analysts warn such tactics risk escalating tensions in the Middle East. Donald Trump emphasized the importance of these talks, warning that failure could lead to severe consequences for Iran. He warned, "If the talks aren't successful, I actually think it will be a very bad day for Iran," while stating later on that he's willing to meet personally with the Iranian leaders. Trump criticized NATO members once again for insufficient defense spending, threatening withdrawal unless contributions increased. On another account, disputes arose with Canada over Trump's territorial intentions to take over it and claim it as an American state, while for Mexico, border security led to Trump's clash with it. All incidents reflect Trump's confrontational style of diplomacy. Trump imposed acute tariffs on European imports, citing unfair trade practices. The president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, announced retaliatory countermeasures of 26 billion euros, plunging transatlantic relations into turmoil. Economists predicted prolonged disruptions affecting industries ranging from automotive to agriculture. The U.S.-China trade war intensified. The tariffs reached unprecedented levels of Trump's 145% tariffs on U.S. imports and the 125% of Beijing retaliatory tariffs. By day 100, tensions between the two superpowers were amplified. The conflict highlighted Washington's intent to curb China's economic rise. In addition, Trump's administration has recently signaled he is looking to de-escalate the confrontation with China. Trump's first 100 days epitomized disruption in reshaping institutions, challenging norms, and testing alliances. Whether seen as visionary leadership or reckless governance, his decisions will undoubtedly shape America's trajectory for years to come. As polls indicate declining approval ratings and confidence levels, questions linger about whether his strategies can sustain long-term success or imminent downfall. For now, the world watches closely, bracing for what lies ahead in Trump's second term, a period already defined by controversy, ambition, and profound uncertainty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're joined by Dr. Ashraf Singer, the world political analyst. Dr. Singer, thank you very much for joining us. Sir, Trump has signed more executive orders in his first 100 days than any president in U.S. history, including FDR. Now, how do you view this space as decisive leadership or political overreach?
For that number of executive orders, it's now about 142, and if I'm correct, in the first day, he did sign the 26 executive orders. What my best understanding that Trump was interested in reversing what the Democratic Party did for America. So in terms of what he is doing, he's really shaking the status quo externally and internally. In other words, he really moved aggressively to implement, the tariffs on imported goods, from China. That amount, never ever I heard about 145, on Chinese goods. This is really shaking, the American people. It's really hard that we can really expecting, these guys can really tolerate with that policy over time. The American people, they don't have that patience, they can really wait until Trump can really move fast to achieve his goals. This is one of the major challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump is reshaping the American foreign policy, reshaping the domestic politics. I hope he can really. But what really I'm watching, that the number of voices are resisting that policy increased significantly.
Mr. Singer, now many of these executive actions have triggered lawsuits and judicial pushback. In your opinion, is this a sign of a functioning democracy or one that is under threat?
This is really very difficult, but in terms of a check and balance, in the U.S. system, the rule of courts, the Supreme Courts, are playing a major role in making that balance in the U.S. politics. Of course, that number of executives over the challenge, and particularly his policy about the deportation of the green cards holders, even U.S. citizens. The Trump administration is facing very challenging environment currently. But in terms of democracy, there are some observers, see that situation is still healthy for American democracy, where the rule of support can really stop and making that balance with the executive uh, branch, as Trump is represented, the executive branch. But that will not really give Trump like a smooth way to execute his plan either.
Well, Schedule F has reinstated the power to dismiss thousands of federal workers based on loyalty to presidential policy. Now, is this administrative streamlining or politicization of the civil service?
Yeah. Never ever we had that situation before in the US. Either you are Democratic or you are Republican. It doesn't matter, particularly in the federal jobs. But since Trump, came to the office and his administrations, actually, they are giving like a taste, for every employee. If he or she is really showing his loyalty to the current administration. And it's pretty clear that even the staff in the White House are praising Trump for his goal, for his policy, and showing that Trump is the best president ever. That type of slogan or that type of word, of course, is pretty new in America.
Well, that's why Trump's classification of civil servants has been condemned as undermining neutral governance. What do you believe is at stake for the integrity of the American system then?
In terms of integrity, it's a pretty challenging now in the United States. But my best understanding about American politics, it's pretty hard that you can really see that country be divided in terms of loyalty. But they need really to keep the Washington to be pretty integrated. It doesn't matter if Trump or any president will run the show. But by the end, they need to keep their government very efficient, to be very efficient. But under any threat from their democracy, their government, or the work that government really executed, I'm sure that either the Congress, either the Senate, the Congress, or the House will intervene from decisions as the court. They are really ready to intervene from decisions under any circumstances to keep American democracy booming, and we cannot really accept just any president or is playing a role of.
Mr. Ashraf Singer, the world political analyst, thank you very much, sir, for your insights. 100 days into his second term, Donald Trump has reasserted control over the U.S. government through speed, shock, and sweeping authority. Whether this is a new era of bold governance or a dangerous detour from democratic norms remains bitterly contested. His executive orders multiply and backlash intensifies. One thing's clear: America's future is once again on the line. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us. This was In Depth.